My name is Habib Gafoor. I'm the editor and co-director of Broken Union. This is an editor's cut on how we use media technology in the construction, research, planning and evaluation stages of our products. I'll go through how we came by using media technology in each of our products and the effectiveness of it. This is our production room and I'm going to show you how we create magic. Firstly, let's look at research stages in which we embedded media technology to help us be more effective. We first questioned ourselves, what makes a good teaser trailer? This was to get ideas rolling. So through the use of media technology, we used search engines such as Yahoo, Ask and Google to try and get first initial brainstorm ideas before we begin. We got over 27 million results in less than 0.27 seconds. This was because we wanted broad information to see a variety of ideas so we can pick up from. We then came to realize a good teaser trailer's characteristics are that they last approximately 30 to 60 seconds. They are usually shown a year before the actual release date, and it's a sneak preview to get the audience appetite and cause a hype. After the initial idea was established, we started looking at specific film genres related for the film. We used YouTube as a source as we could visually see what teaser trailers are like and we could relate to our films, and also we get more ideas. We also evaluated films using IMDb as an essential source, as this had film critics and ratings which we could learn from to avoid or take on board. These methods were also used in our research for our ancillaries, as the use of media technologies helped us gain a wider and more complex ideas to bring forward to the table when planning. We also used Weebly as a source of research, as we could evaluate other previous works so we can get more ideas and bring and pick up from, to transform and combine to make it our work. Now I'm going to talk to you about the planning stages. When planning our teaser trailer, YouTube played a big part in us gathering information about not only the film ideas, but to see further into choosing who we would have as a distribution company, as certain distribution companies sell well with certain genres. For example, we chose Paramount as our film distributor, as we believe they can distribute their action-related films, such as Transformers movie and Captain America, very well. Throughout our planning stages, we thought it would be effective to take some test shots, some technical shots and some freehand shots, which we could then evaluate and get a better understanding of how we could use some of these shots. I've used my own YouTube channel to upload some of these test shots and asked a variety of others of their opinion through the use of social media such as WhatsApp, BlackBerry Messenger and Twitter. The use of media technologies in this section of our project helped us give an outside view as well as a view that on what our target audience would like to see. Moreover, we also had to come by script writing and storyboarding. This was more pen to paper as we were more comfortable with this method. However, through the use of media technology, we were able to scan our paper-based boards onto a PC, upload the file onto our Weebly site so we could keep our work organized and show the progress of our work. We also took pictures of our production progress so that we could add it to our blogs for future references. More specific details and information, so therefore we looked at more critique-based websites such as IMDb. This website helped us see what ratings movies which were similar to ours had gotten and what audience would change or liked about the movie, so we could implement and manipulate into our teaser trailer. I'm now going to go through the use of media technology through the construction stages of our teaser trailer. To begin with, when producing Broken Union, the crew members and I decided we would use two specific digital cameras to take films and take images of our teaser trailer. We used a Sony Vaio Handycam which had a 1080i HD recording along with a 4.0 megapixel still image recording. This hardware also came with a 2.7-inch screen which we could look at whilst recording to ensure we are getting the right objects into the full frame without adding any pointless factors, as well as making sure we got the full mise-en-scène we wish to have in the shot. However, the main feature we used from this camera was the fact that it had 10 times optical zoom and 80 times digital zoom. This gave us the opportunity to get a real good close-up from angles and positions that were hard for us to get into. For example, here are some of the shots that we took using the zoom feature. As you can see, it was a stable and strong quality shot. This gave us a chance to get a good close-up from a long range. Some constraints of using the Sony HD camera was the fact that the output file was AVC HD. It was not compatible with our editing software, Final Cut Pro. By saying that, we overcame this problem by converting the file type using Adobe Media Converter. Secondly, the other camera we used for recording our teaser trailer was the Canon DSLR. This camera was used for our technical shots such as the fading focus effect. This camera had the option to have the focus used manually or automatically. This effect was mentioned in our planning stages on paper, so we thought it would be effective if we put into our actual teaser trailer, and this is how it turned out to be. As you can see, the flag is now blurred and then back into focus. This camera also had a screen we could look into whilst recording. However, the duration shots was limited as the camera automatically stopped recording after 8 seconds. Although we did not need the shots to be this long, we thought it would be a hassle for us and we needed a long way when it came to editing, so we continued to use a Sony camera throughout our teaser trailer's construction. Furthermore, as we were filming, we needed stability and accuracy. This was used, so therefore we used a tripod to give us these assets. Now let's look at the software used in the creation of Broken Union. Our teaser trailer consisted of many effects and complicated use of technology. We had explosions, gunshots, and other lighting effects. Therefore, we required a lot of software to bring together the final product. We also had to use different hardware such as PCs and Apple Macs. Firstly, as mentioned earlier, we had to use Adobe Media Encoder to convert our ABCD HD files. We used the software because it allowed us to convert as many files as we wanted at the same time, and we could convert any file no matter the size of the file. The only issue we had with this was the fact that it was on a PC and we had to keep going back and forth for every new shot we took and upload it onto the Mac after, as we were editing using the Apple Macs. Secondly, we used Final Cut Pro on an Apple Mac computer as our editing software. This was because of the technical shot it allowed us to use with a simple use. As an editor, Final Cut Pro I was most familiar with Final Cut Pro, and this was the software I wanted to use compared to any other software. Apart from the fact that we used Adobe After Effects for the special effects shots. Final Cut Pro allowed us to visually see a timeline of our teaser trailer. We could then know what shots needed to be added in when and where. Each shot would we would add in each shot as we would go. This would also help us keep our audio and our visuals in sync. Moreover, we use a software called Adobe After Effects to create special effects as we had in our teaser trailer. This is because of the complex scenes and the explosion and the gunshot that we had that needed to be done. Therefore, we used Adobe After Effects. We used Adobe After Effects because we could add in layers and put them together and then add in our effects to make it look more professional. Also, as an editor, I was familiar with this product as well as I used it before. However, it was a hassle trying to put them together in the final piece because Adobe After Effects was used on a PC and we were editing on Apple Mac, so we had to constantly export and import video types. It went from being an amateur shot to a level of being semi-pro. We use the same technique when doing the gunshot scene and the second explosion. In conclusion, the use of media technologies throughout our whole production helped us become more creative and pro-efficient. We also learned a lot of new skills and techniques. Without the use of these media technologies, we would not have been able to create this magical teaser trailer.
Au revoir.